Hello, and welcome to the 19th BOH Cameronian Arts Awards on set. My name is Miriam, and joining me today are January and Audrey, the nominees for Best Featured Lead Performer in Dance. Well, all right, how are we doing today?
All right.
Good? All right?
Yeah.
Great. So let's just dive into the first question to Audrey.
Okay.
Just right there. Your work dives into the patriarchal society and themes on it. How did you explore that theme through your dance and with your dance partner?
It was a lot of listening in some ways and a lot of discussion with Miss Lok, because while it was kind of more about patriarchy and stuff, it was kind of sort of before my generation in some ways. So I didn't really have personal experience, or I guess she was also worried I was too young. So maybe I didn't have that experience. So we talked a lot about maybe what it must have felt like maybe in my grandmother's generation and things like that. And because she was the first person who did the piece as well as the lead girl in it, the lead female in it. So then I sort of could tap into her experience and maybe my experience, and then kind of join that together, into getting it. And with Gabriel, we didn't actually have a lot of time. We only had like 3 weeks to before the show to put it together. And it just kind of happened like that in some ways. I think we just went in with it with an open mind, and we trusted each other to know our limits, our boundaries, but also the potential that this piece kind of had. And I think, I'm not sure, but maybe you can sort of see it within the piece while we're doing it, because we were also still kind of finding that struggle while being comfortable with each other. But we put a lot of trust in each other to make it happen. Yeah.
And what was it like? You shared a little bit about being a young person and dance partner, thinking, how did you then respond to their experiences? And
well, I'm very headstrong. And so I think as a female, in that situation, maybe I would have just left, or you know what I mean? But I think I had to sort of put myself in a scenario where at that time, you didn't have that option in some ways, and your views and your perspectives was also different. And I think education and also with technology and see more of the world and things like that played a part. So yeah, I actually really did put myself in my grandmother's perspective on how, maybe coming to foreign country and stuff, and maybe depending on whether she married for love or married for more arranged sort of situation. And maybe she might have wanted to do other things but felt like she couldn't because she had kids. And I kind of put myself in her situation more than myself. So I kind of embodied that rather than saying that,
this is my...
Yes. Yeah.
January, how was your experience working with Bijoyni?
So, I started Odyssey very young. I started with Bharatanatyam first. Let's go way back.
Yes.
I started with ballet at 4,
Okay.
and then I went into Bharatanatyam at 8, and then I started Odyssey at 13, and then I eventually stopped ballet altogether at 15. And then I left Sutra Dance Theatre when I was 22. I got married, and then I didn't really have a mentor or a dance teacher for the longest time. It was a deliberate choice because I just needed to figure out who I was, what I wanted to do, what were my questions, etc. And then I have seen Bijoyni Satpathy, I call her Didi, many, many years ago, and she is the best Odissi dancer in the world, right? I remember the very first time I saw her,
Yeah.
We get it.
And when I heard that she had also left her her ensemble or dance company after, I don't know, a good 25 years, 25, 30 years, I thought, is this an opportunity to ask about virtual mentorship? Because we were in lockdown. We were not going anywhere, and a friend of mine had said that he had started this mentorship with her, and it was just online. I wasn't really sure how it worked, but I knew that if I started this with her, I would never stop.
Yeah.
Because I would never allow myself to lose this opportunity that this big. So I started in 2020. And we've had this relationship for the past 4 years, and it has been nothing but healing. I would describe her as a light, really, you know, that shines on my shadow, that creates my shadows and makes me aware of what I was never aware of. And we're just actively working on Odyssey. That's all we are doing. So I had to start from zero. I had to start from the very beginning, body conditioning, to get the body ready for the intensity of the technique once again. And I'm approaching 40, you know, I've had 3 kids. We were in lockdown. I was confronted with the lockdown body, you know. And
Ooh, the lockdown body.
I tell you,
let's not go back there. No.
But it's been 4 years. I mean, there have been many instances where I thought, you know what am I doing this for, and why am I putting myself through this? Because it's ego shattering, right? She sends me emails. I mean, I shared all of this in my work, A Listening Body. It's highlighted all the corrections, and they're just pages and pages and pages and emails of just corrections that I have to read, understand, and then embody, and then re-record myself and send, you know what I mean? So it's a tedious process, but I just had to trust. I had to trust her, I had to trust myself, and just be patient. And dancers are very impatient. We don't see the changes. I didn't understand for the longest time what she wanted. I mean, I didn't realize also that there were so many things to correct within my body as well. So that in itself has been life-changing, to say the least. And it's only been a gift, you know. And of course, then having a wholesome, nurturing, empowering relationship with a mentor, with a dance mentor, which is also not common.
Nope,
it's quite rare, you know. So it's been nothing but healing. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing the gift of having the right mentor, but also the gift of trusting yourself and putting yourself there.
Yeah, and learning to enjoy being a student again. You know, it took a long time. I mean, it seems like, you know, whatever you see on social media, it looks easy and effortless, you know, but it's like, it's the tip of an iceberg. Everything, you are confronted with everything that you carry, you know, that you've carried for years. But just having to slowly
pull apart the pieces
and put it back together has been, and that's exactly what my show was about.
Talking about ego shattering, that brings me, that's literally how I felt working for Koichi IC with Miss Lok. Like, it's so ego shattering, because I was also going from zero, because there was a lot of traditional Chinese style in that, and I had zero. So a lot of correcting, a lot of being like, nope, this is not how I want it, and a lot of listening and getting feedback. So I totally understand where you were.
You nodded as well, like dancers are impatient. So,
yeah.
And did that like really test you on?
Yeah, because I was I did that training already, so I should be, you know, I should be able to get it.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't. And it's kind of like you have to take a step back and be like, okay. I'm gonna put myself in a different perspective and then go for it. Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you as a person. You know? But we're so used to getting feedback that also attacks our
being.
our being,
Yes.
when
Yep.
it really by right should not.
No.
It's
On
just
the
two
work,
separate
yes.
things,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like lower, like having your elbows down does
Yeah.
not make you a bad person. Like, you know, you should not
Yes.
exist. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. It's a very, very interesting process. When you're looking back upon it, when you're in it, it's not fun.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It's like you said, ego shattering, but also like heart shattering. Oh my God, I'm not
I
good at
know.
anything. Why was I born? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. But also, do you feel like because your mentor was female, it made a difference?
I ask myself this because my previous teacher was a male, and now it's a female. I don't know. I don't know if it makes a difference, you know, because I think ultimately it's just respect, integrity, kindness. And just being a good person, you know, sympathetic, empathetic, all these things. So now my practice revolves around these bigger things than, you know.
Yeah. And it flows to you. You are then kind and sympathetic and respectful.
Yeah, and
to
because
every other.
it's a practice.
Yes.
It's something you have to actively like choose to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then it becomes easier as
to embody. And,
absolutely, yeah. So I don't know about the gender. I don't want to go down that road because you also hear of really not very sympathetic female teachers as well.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you talked a lot about technique and you're building that, being a student again. And in the age of technology and social media and trends, dance trends especially, suddenly everyone's a dancer.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? What's your response to that? To seeing things trending, and then on the other side, like y'all putting a lot of work and, you know, practicing patience and putting aside the ego, and then, you know, these guys are just on there. Yeah.
I think it's a lot of putting aside the ego again. I think we can all, as much as don't like it, or like when people ask, oh, maybe you should be a TikTok dancer then, because look, you're so good at moving. But I get a lot of those.
That's the check. Good at moving.
Good
TikTok.
at moving, TikTok. Yeah, I think we can all coexist in the same space, but I think it's nice to be acknowledged that it is different and there was a lot more that goes into what we do than just doing movements and making it look good. Because,
My whole issue is the instant gratification. You know, so it's taken me many years to figure out my intention, and always being mindful with why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, we don't have to be like all philosophical and deep about uploading a TikTok 20-second, 10-second thing. But I feel that the whole culture around it is it's very dangerous because there's a lot of just look at me for right now for 20 seconds, and then it bleeds into like how many views you've got, how many likes,
Sense
whether
of
it's
self, all these things.
so it's not really per se like there's a problem with posting yourself. If you're doing it for fun and you're enjoying yourself, that's great. Everyone should dance, everyone should move, everyone should have the freedom to do whatever they want to do, you know? But it's my issue is the what comes after that and dealing with that, you know, because it's quite heavy, right, on mental health and feeling not good enough and imposter syndrome. Blah, 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 blah. But then again, maybe I'm looking at it like a bit too much as a mom and being
valid,
like,
all valid,
you know.
Yeah.
So all well and good if it doesn't really affect you that much. But if you're looking at it as a
validation,
you
and
know,
stuff,
for something, then maybe, you know, I get a bit like, like just you know.
Yeah, it's the TikTok comments for me. It's like people who don't actually even like are in the industry or have a say than saying something about you, if you know, saying like, oh, but it's not as good, or like, but what do you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's the whole thing. I think the after effect of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for working at your craft, for telling us, showing us what it's like to be a student, and for teaching us that it's good to put aside the things and keep learning. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
congratulations
Thank
once again on
you.
your nominations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.